Okay guys, so at this point you have looked at the illuminated personality poster PowerPoint, most likely. This is kind of what we are working on for the very first day. I want you to think about what sort of things you want to add into your final image and how you're going to show those. So as part of that, you're going to want to draw at least 2 small boxes on a piece of paper and then start to do some sketching, otherwise known as thumbnails, of what you might want to include for that. So again, remember, there's a couple important things that you need to have in your final image. One of those is the first letter of your first or last name, somewhere in there. Now, a lot of the examples that you saw, they're very, very large and right in the middle of the page. You can choose to kind of adjust that down to a smaller scale and have other things represented as well, or you can go the more classic route and follow some of those other pictures a little bit more closely and have a very large central letter with other things that are related to you kind of on each side or included in the image in some way. But, you know, I wrote down a couple things that I like to do. I like ceramics, I like to do art, so I could think about, you know, drawing some pencils or art supplies in there. In this case, I included a pot as my actual focal point, and then I'm going to have my other interests kind of be decorative elements on that pot. I like to teach, so maybe I'll put something in there about you guys or how I feel about that. I don't have any good ideas for that yet, but more than likely they'll be included somewhere in my final image, which maybe I'll do another thumbnail to think about that. I volunteer at the Cunningham Falls Aviary, and I work with non-releasable birds, so like red-tailed hawks, eagles, owls, that kind of stuff. And that's actually a pretty big part of my life, so I'm thinking about including different images of birds and things like that. And I also, in general, would say that I like nature, so I'll add that to my list. I was planning on doing some leaves and things like that, so I will kind of include those as well. And it doesn't need to be that every single thing that you see on here is in your things I like list. I'm going to have a couple regular decorative elements as well that aren't really pertaining to any of this, but they're still nice to have to kind of fill out and round out the composition. And again, you know, earlier in the week I talked about how I started doing archery, so I included some bows and arrows on there as part of that. It's really, really fun, so I'm enjoying it quite a lot. And then, finally, I decided to do my last initial, because that's what most of you guys know me as. So I put an M on there. I might do MC, because sometimes kids call me MC, but I haven't really decided yet. And you don't need to have every single thing shown on this little guy. This is just to kind of know where things are going to go in relation to other things. Obviously, when I do my birds and my leaves and stuff, they're going to be a lot more detailed in the final image. So this is work that should be done today, which is going to be on Thursday in both classes. Even if you don't have synchronous class with me today, you should try to get your thumbnails done. I know yesterday I talked a little bit about how just because we're not meeting face-to-face doesn't mean that there won't be work posted, and I did say in every class that this assignment would be posted for you guys. So do your best to try to get this done. Obviously, if you are in my Block 2 class, we will talk about this more on Thursday. And if you are in my Blocks 3 and 4, we will talk about this on Friday. I'll kind of review what's going on. But I do kind of hope that you guys will have something to show on Friday for this assignment. So again, get your thumbnails worked on. If you have questions, you can talk to me during our student support time this afternoon, which is from 12:45 to 3:30. We have a lot of student support time on Mondays and Thursdays. So if you look, 12:30 to 3:30.